Welcome back, everyone, to the video. Today we are back from the NFL tier list video. Today, ranking the best offenses going into the 2023 to 2024 NFL season post-draft. Now, back in, I want to say, probably April, I think, maybe March, we did a tier list doing this, but before the draft. That was like our pre-draft ranking, so if you didn't see that, you can go check it out or just skip through it, kind of like where I placed those teams at that point in time. And now a lot has changed, honestly. I was kind of watching over that video, and at the time recording that, Rodgers hadn't gone to the Jets officially yet. Lamar didn't have his contract. Odell wasn't anywhere yet. So, there's been some pretty cool changes. So I'm happy about that it's not going to be the exact same copy and paste video because there are different things to look at. So first up, let's come over here to rank these teams. The Saints are our first team we're going to look at for offense. Now, the Saints are a very interesting offense. Obviously, being their division rival, I don't like the Saints, so I don't want them to do well, but gotta, stay unbiased for this video. So they got Derek Carr. Derek Carr is an okay starter. He's very inconsistent, and it's kind of funny because he got shut out by the Saints last year, and the Saints kind of saw that, and they were like, that's our guy. Let's go get him. So they went and got Derek Carr. I guess there's that. Still have Alvin Kamara, though. I think his trial thing for beating up that dude in Vegas is either going to go on or something like that. So I don't know that whole situation there, but they still have him. But the biggest thing is probably Chris Olave. I did an individual video on Chris Olave with our individual player series, kind of predicting how they're going to do next year. And I love Chris Olave, and I do think the Saints offense is going to be better than people give them credit for. I don't think Derek Carr is going to lead them to any kind of crazy numbers. But I'm going to put them in B because I do think Derek Carr is a viable starter. He's not great, but he is going to get the job done. And Chris Olave put up good numbers with, Andy Dalton as his quarterback and Jameis Winston. So Derek Carr is at least better than them, and I think they'll have a very good offense. Next is the Dolphins. Dolphins have got to go, A or S. I'm going to put him in S for right now. You have Tua, you have Tyreek Hill, and you have Jalen Waddle right there. And those three alone just make that offense just unbelievable. Now, also, I'm not going to rank them based off of this, but it does seem like Dalvin Cook might go to Miami. Obviously, I can't say for sure at this point in time, and, nobody can, but it does seem like that. So if they get Dalvin Cook, even more so, reason to put them in S. But I love the Jets offense, or the Jets offense. I love the Dolphins offense. They're very fast-paced. They're very fun to watch. I hope Tua can stay injury-free, and I think that's one of the most exciting offenses to watch in football. So they're going in S. The Ravens are an exciting one because this is one that is a lot different from the last time we ranked it. Since then, Lamar is officially staying. They drafted Zay Flowers. They signed Odell. You still have Mark Andrews. J.K. Dobbins coming back off of, his horrible ACL injury. Last year was still kind of shaky, but he seems to be really 100% now. And I am going to put the Ravens in A. I'm not going to put them in S just because I am a little worried as far as the injuries go for that offense. Lamar has had trouble staying healthy. Odell definitely has had trouble staying healthy. But even if you want to say, okay, let's say Lamar doesn't play all the games and Odell doesn't play all the games, you still have Zay Flowers, you still have Rashad Bateman coming back, you still have Mark Andrews, so you still have a very good offense. I do think that they might struggle come injuries, but I'm going to put them in A. I think they're going to be very, very good. Next is the Bengals. The Bengals have, I think, one of the best offenses in football, in my opinion. An absolutely unbelievable wide receiver core, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. And then you lose, I can't think of their tight end's name, Hayden Hurst to Carolina. And then you bring in Irv Smith from Minnesota. You still have Joe Burrow, of course. You do lose Samaje Perine, the backup running back, who I think was actually very good for them out of the backfield. But you have Joe Mixon, and then you draft Chase Brown. You draft a couple of backup receivers as well to provide some depth. So the Bengals, I think, are one of the best offenses. They're going to go in S as well. I really think they're going to be one of the most exciting offenses to watch, along with the Dolphins. And then next is the Broncos. So the Broncos, another interesting team. So you got Russell Wilson. You got Tim Patrick coming back off an ACL tear. You have Cortland Sutton. You have Jerry Jeudy. You have Javonte Williams coming off an ACL tear, though I wouldn't expect the craziest year from him because I think he's still kind of working back from that. But you also got Samaje Perine, who we just mentioned, left the Bengals. He went to Denver, and he's their backup running back, or maybe even their starter if, Williams isn't good to go. And I think you have a really exciting offense, honestly. With Russell Wilson still there and coming off of last season's struggles, you got rid of Nathaniel Hackett. So I do expect a jump. I wouldn't say the craziest jump, but there really isn't much worse you can perform than last year, so I'm going to say a jump nonetheless. I'm going to put the Broncos in B. They have a very tough divisional schedule with the Chiefs and Chargers being in their division, and who knows what the Raiders are going to do this year. So a lot of high competition, but a very good offense, and now you have Sean Payton as well. So I think they will definitely be better than last year. The Giants are another exciting one because I don't think they had Darren Waller at the time of recording my previous video. Maybe they did, but I don't think so. But you have Daniel Jones now. You have Darren Waller. I think they still have Saquon Barkley. I don't think he's officially signed back, but it doesn't sound like he's leaving. I don't think. I think he's just trying to wait for that right contract because he has said that he wants to stay there, just waiting for the numbers to be right. And honestly, at this point in the year, I can't see them letting one of their best offensive players walk. I really can't see that. For offense, you did draft Jalen Hyatt, but I don't know how crazy he's supposed to be because he was kind of an interesting prospect anyway. He was like ridiculously fast, but his route running was questionable. But either way, the Giants surprised a lot of people last year. And, I don't think they're going to regress. I think Daniel Jones has kind of found his rhythm a bit. I'm not sure how much better he will really get from where he is right now. I'm not sure how high his ceiling honestly is. And if you guys have a comparison, let me know down below because Daniel Jones is a very interesting player in my opinion. Very sneaky, athletic. With the Giants offense overall, I do think is going to stay hot. I'm going to put them in B as well. We have a lot of good offenses, actually. I just realized, look at this tier list. We have a lot of good teams kind of up front here. But over to the Vikings. Now, the Vikings, they do lose Dalvin Cook, but in my opinion, they don't lose enough for me to really rank them too low. I mean, you have Kirk Cousins, you have Justin Jefferson, you have KJ Osborne, you draft Jordan Addison, you have Alexander Madison, and TJ Hawkinson. That's a very good offense. And I do struggle with ranking them because I want to put them in S, but I also feel like they're very comparable to the Ravens, who we have in A. So I don't know. Maybe we'll leave them in A. If you guys are new around here, at the end of the video, I do always move teams around if I don't like where they ended up, or if I just kind of have more time to think through some things. So I try and make it a relatively short video for going over every single team in the league. So we'll leave both the Ravens and Vikings there. But if I don't move them to S at the end of the video, just know that that's a very high A. And if you yourself have them in like an S tier, absolutely respectable. I can totally see that. Next up is the Rams. So the Rams, you have Matthew Stafford, you have Cooper Kupp. I think you still have Cam Akers, but I don't really know what to make of Cam Akers, to be honest. And, maybe I'm forgetting someone, but I don't think you have a whole lot else. You draft Stetson Bennett. So that'd be kind of interesting to see if he gets into the game and maybe, does something for that offense. But Stafford had a rough year, had some injuries, and the Rams overall were just not very good. And the Rams, I don't think they're going to have the best offense. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to actually put them in C because I think your entire offense is Cooper Kupp, and while he's absolutely incredible, that is not sustainable for 17 games. It's just not. You got to have other people to dish the ball to, hand it off to, and I just don't think they have that. So Cooper Kupp himself, one of the best receivers in the league. Rams offense, not one of the best offense in the league going into the next year, in my opinion. Next, the Buccaneers. They are going to join them in C. I think the Buccaneers are going to be very, very bad. Like, in the run for Caleb Williams, bad. They have Baker Mayfield and they have Kyle Trask. And if you guys have seen that video that was circulating of their, like, QB battle, they go, like 2 or 3 passes each, not being able to complete a pass. I think the one pass that's completed is Kyle Trask, and it was like a one-handed, kind of bobbled grab by the tight end anyway. It was not that good of a throw. Mayfield missed guys, and there's no defense on the field either. That's some context you need to know. There's no defense. They're just straight up missing them. So I think the Buccaneers are going to be very bad. And of course, the Panthers fan, I hope you guys are bad too because, Panthers on top. But the Buccaneers, really though, in unbiased opinion, I don't think there's a whole lot to be excited about there. Next, the Lions though, and that is a team you should be very excited about. They are going to go in, I want to say, A or S. I'm going to put them in A just for right now. You have Jared Goff, who honestly had a very solid year last year. You draft Jahmyr Gibbs, seemingly way too high, but everybody's been very high on him in OTAs and everything. So, you know what? Was that the best pick there and he have been available later on? Probably, but if he works out well, at least you can say he worked out well, and he seems to be very good. You do lose DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, I believe. Like I said, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, and you also bring in David Montgomery in free agency. You have Jameson Williams, who is now suspended 6 games for gambling. but you still have Monter St. Brown. And overall, I think the Lions offense is going to be incredibly exciting to watch. And I think a lot of people are high on the Lions this year. I know MMG, I'm sure you guys all know who that is. He's another YouTuber, does a lot of Madden and NFL stuff as well. He's a Lions fan. I think he said that he also believes it's finally their year to make the playoffs, which I think Lions fans have said for a while now. But I think now a lot of people other than Lions fans are actually kind of, on that boat of like, I think it is time for you guys to make the playoffs. So they're going in A. Next is the Bears. So the Bears are really interesting to me because you have Justin Fields, you get DJ Moore from Carolina, you have Darnell Mooney, and I'm sure I'm forgetting their running back that I'm probably going to get roasted on. Khalil Herbert, did they get anyone else? Am I forgetting someone? Okay, maybe I'm forgetting someone. But either way, you get Khalil Herbert. You draft an offensive lineman for Justin Fields, which is, very good there. But, I'm very hesitant to put them in, like, the A category because in the A category, you have established quarterbacks who consistently pass the ball well. And I absolutely love Justin Fields. I think he's amazing. But I don't think he's proven himself as a consistent passer yet. He has great flashes. And you know what? If he puts it all together next year, that's absolutely great. But right now, from what I've seen, he's still running for his life every single play. DJ Moore would be a huge help because, obviously from coming from Carolina, I know a lot about him. And his ability to separate and catch the ball is just really incredible. So that will definitely make Fields' life easier, but I can't put them in A right now. I'm going to put them in C. I can't put them in A, I'm going to put them in B. I can't see them having an offense on the same tier as the Ravens, Vikings, and Lions just because Fields' passing does scare me sometimes. But again, if this is the year he puts all together, that's absolutely great. And if he does, they will definitely be in the A category. But next is the 49ers, and I feel like I say this about like all these teams, but this is an interesting team for real because you have three quarterbacks you don't really know what to do with. You have Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy, which is a pretty good quarterback room. I don't think Sam Darnold's the best, but the 49ers have kind of liked him for some reason, I guess. I don't know. I don't get it. I cannot see Darnold starting week 1. I think it's got to be Purdy if he's ready, and if not Purdy, you go right back to Trey Lance and give him a real shot, and hopefully he stays healthy. And then, of course, other than the quarterbacks, you still have Deebo Samuel, and you have Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, and I guess you still have Elijah Mitchell. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong there. But guys, this is me currently editing the video. I have no idea how I forgot to say Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers. He is like one of my favorite players in the league since obviously, from Carolina, and he's just so fun to watch. I have no idea how I forgot him. So yeah, go ahead and roast me in the comments on that one, but back to the video. They've got to go in A or S. I think I'm going to put them in S because their offense is so unbelievable. Brock Purdy, don't get me wrong, he is a good quarterback, but you have Brock Purdy coming in there and looking like flawless in that offense because, Purdy is good, but he's not as good as the offense made him look because you had absolutely incredible coaching and incredible weapons and incredible scheme, and it was just honestly a quarterback's best case scenario. So they're going in S. Next is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Eagles had an incredible year last year. You have Jalen Hurts playing out of his mind. You get DeAndre Swift from the Eagles, and you still have someone, Kenneth Gainwell, and, you lose Miles Sanders to Carolina, but that's still a very solid running back room. Incredible quarterback. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I mean, there's not really a weakness to that offense, in my opinion. They're absolutely amazing. They are also going to go in the S category. There's not much else to say about the Eagles, in my opinion. I think they're just an S offense because they're just unstoppable, it seems like. Super Bowl team. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because there's not a whole lot to break down there. Next is the Raiders, though. This is a team to break down a little bit more because they have some interesting circumstances surrounding them. So you have Devontae Adams, who it sounds like has openly said that he doesn't really want to be there, but he's just like kind of stuck there, which is not the attitude you want from a player. You have Josh Jacobs, who's coming off his best career year, which is, obviously amazing. You do lose Darren Waller to New York Giants, and you bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, which he apparently failed his physical. So if he doesn't, I guess, pass one by whatever deadline toward the season, he just goes back to San Francisco, I guess. I don't really know how that works. I assume he will pass his physical, but if he doesn't, that's very bad for the Raiders. We're going to talk like he does, though, and everything's fine. The Raiders' offense, I think, is going to be definitely a interesting offense to watch. I've said this word so many times, but Derek Carr is a pretty inconsistent quarterback, in my opinion, and I don't think Garoppolo's very consistent either. Like, I think that's very similar QB play right there. You know, maybe Raiders fans are high on him. I don't know. If you guys are, let me know down below, of course. I'm just going to put the Raiders in B. You still have incredible weapons to where I don't think the offense is going to be bad, but definitely, you know, not going to be in the A category, in my opinion. But although also, you do draft Michael Mayer to replace Darren Waller. I forgot about that for a second. That's a great draft choice, in my opinion, tight end out of Notre Dame. But anyway, over to Green Bay. So Green Bay, this is going to be really cool because this is Jordan Love's debut year. He looked pretty good. He came in against the Eagles last year, threw for a touchdown. You have Christian Watson, obviously, going into his second year. You still have Aaron Jones. You have A.J. Dillon still, I'm pretty sure. Although now I'm second-guessing myself, but I'm pretty sure you still have A.J. Dillon. And yeah, so you have Romeo Doubs still. It's a very, it's going to be an offense that I think is going to be going through some growing pains, just trying to, you know, move on from Aaron Rodgers, because there is a, you know, a lot of chemistry there. Although I will say, to counter that point I just made, Christian Watson was in his first year. Romeo Doubs, I believe, was also in his first year. And Allen Lazard left. So you do have guys that didn't have the most chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, to where maybe it won't be too much of a jump to going right to Jordan Love. So you know what? Maybe I'm wrong there. I do think Jordan Love will be a good quarterback in the NFL. Although a lot of it is so unproven, I'm going to put them in B. If Love is as good as I think he will be, I think they'll be an A offense, but there's just a lot of question marks around them, so I really just got to put them in B still. Washington is... So you got Sam Howell, you have Terry McLaurin, you have Jahan Dotson, but I think the biggest draft choice they really had was Emmanuel Forbes, and that's defense. And this isn't a defensive video, so I could talk a lot more about Washington defensively, but I don't have a whole lot to say there as far as offense goes. I think you are while a good team, still the weakest in the in the NFC East. So I don't know, man. I don't want to put him in C, but Sam Howell is very unproven. I do think he will be good because he has shown great flashes against the Cowboys, but I can't put them in the B category, I don't think. I'm just going to put him in C. And that might be a bad take because they do have some great weapons on offense. But, I mean, I don't know how they all play together yet. So, personally, I'm just not comfortable. No, you know what? No. We're putting him in B. Because guess what? I said the same thing about Jordan Love, and they're in B. We're putting Washington in B. I think Sam Howell will be great. They're going in B. The Cardinals, there are not a lot of players to talk about. You have Marquise Brown coming back, who was honestly playing very well until his foot injury last year. You still have James Conner, but you lose DeAndre Hopkins. You have Zach Ertz off a torn ACL. But, man, I mean, there is not a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the Cardinals. I think they're going to be probably the bottom of the barrel in the league next year. Kyler Murray is supposed to miss a few weeks into the season. I would assume, like, week 4 he's probably back. Man, I don't know. I really kind of want to put him in D because, yeah, we'll put him in C for right now, and then at the end of the video, I might rearrange that kind of C and D category. I'm just going to keep it moving, though. So, over to the Steelers. Steelers have Kenny Pickett, quarterback, of course. You have Najee Harris. You have Jalen Warren, I believe, is backup running back, who is pretty good as well. Then, of course, Deontay Johnson. You have Pat Freiermuth, and then you also have George Pickens going into his second year. And it's a good offense. I got to say, I think Kenny Pickett takes a big step. And I think with him taking that big step, it's going to elevate everybody else around him. You are in an incredibly tough division, one of the best divisions in football, in my opinion. So, do I think the Steelers take a jump? Absolutely. Do I think they go to an A-tier offense? I would say probably no. So, they're going to go in B for me. But, you know, again, we might move some teams around at the end of the video. So, just hang in there. If you don't like that ranking, I might move it. Next is the Bills. So, you have Josh Allen. You have Stephon Diggs, obviously. You still have Gabe Davis. You have Dawson Knox. You draft Dalton Kincaid. You lose Devin Singletary, but you have James Cook, and I think you get Damian Harris from New England, I think, as well. So, very solid offense, honestly. You know, the Bills are always so exciting to watch. I do think Josh Allen was a little shaken up last year. He's playing through his elbow injury. The narrative kind of shifted on the Bills, almost against them in a way, trying to make them out to be like, you know, on the decline. I don't think they're on the decline. They did have a rough year. Josh Allen did lead the league in interceptions, and they went out pretty bad in the playoffs after struggling through one win and then getting stomped by the Bengals in the other. But going to next year, I think you have Josh Allen being able to rest his elbow, kind of regroup, and you're going to be, again, one of the more fun teams to watch in the NFL. So, I mean, they're guaranteed A or S, honestly. The only reason I'm going to put them, I think, in A is because I don't like the receivers compared to the receivers in the S categories. In the S categories, you have like multiple receivers who I think are honestly very good. You have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle for the Dolphins. You have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You have Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. And you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. But then A, you know, I wouldn't say it's a proven wide receiver 1 and 2 quite yet. It's like a really good wide receiver 1, but not a whole lot else there. The Bills running back, Damian Harris, I don't think he's like insanely good, to be honest. I think James Cook will end up being the better running back there. So I'm going to put them in A. I don't love the weapons as much as I love the weapons in S, but still a great offense, so they're going to go in A. The Falcons, as a division rival, this is going to pain me to talk about everything I'm about to say to them, but they are going to be a very good offense and a very hard offense to stop. You draft Bijan Robinson, who is one of the best running back prospects of all time. He's already being taken like 7th overall in NFL like fantasy drafts, which is insane because he's never even played the snap. That's just how good he's supposed to be. You have Kyle Pitts still. You have Drake London still. Tyler Allgeier's your backup running back who had a 1,000-yard season as a rookie. He's not even that bad. I think the biggest question mark is Desmond Ridder. You know, he did show flashes last year of, you know, not bad. But again, you know, it's all going to kind of fall on him. You have the people around Desmond Ridder to succeed, but what Desmond Ridder is going to do, I don't really know. So I just like, I'm going to put the Falcons in A, which might surprise you guys watching this, but Bijan Robinson is, I believe, seriously going to be a top 5 running back in the league next year, and their offense is going to absolutely thrive because of that. So they just got to go in A. I can't put them any lower than that, honestly. But believe me, it pains me as much as it may pain you to hear that. Next is the Seahawks. So the Seahawks had one of the biggest surprising seasons last year. You have Geno Smith coming in looking like an all-pro quarterback. You have Kenneth Walker, who's a very good running back, and then you also drafted Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA this past year, who was also supposed to get a decent amount of work this year, and is supposed to be a pretty good running back. You, of course, you have DK Metcalf, you have Tyler Lockett, and then you draft Jackson Smith and Jigba from Ohio State, and that is very exciting to me. The Seahawks are going to have a great offense, in my opinion. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be a great receiver, like really exciting to watch. And Geno Smith is a very capable quarterback of getting the ball to him. So you know what? I'm putting the Seahawks in A. I like the Seahawks a lot last year. I like them a lot this year. I like them last year too, but I like them even more this year with getting Jackson Smith and Jigba. So they're going in A. Next is the Patriots. I really thought the Patriots were going to do more to their offense. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to make some more moves, and they really didn't. They lost Jacoby Myers. You signed Juju Smith-Schuster. You still have Mac Jones. You have Ramondre Stevenson, who's absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, other than that, I don't love their offense. Their defense is going to be ranked very high on my defensive tier list we're going to be doing after this at some point. But offense, I don't think it's going to be very good. I'm going to put them, honestly, in C. I think it's going to be a very slow offense like last year. But again, Patriots fans, I will say, your coaching is different. So from what I've seen, I want to put them in C based off kind of like the weapons around them. But if the coaching was the biggest issue, that could totally prove me wrong, and they could be in B. So you know what? If it helps you guys, let's do this. Let's move them to the top of the C category. So, okay, just know it's a high C, low B tier offense in my opinion. If the coaching really was that bad, though, and they look very competent, then great, they're a B offense. But for right now, I'm going to leave them in C. Next is the Browns. So the Browns, okay, this is going to be, all right, so you have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. You have Nick Chubb as your running back. You have Amari Cooper. And then you have Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then you trade for Elijah Moore. And you also have David Njoku. Now, like I said, for the Steelers, you're in an incredibly tough division, one of the best in football. But Deshaun Watson having an entire offseason after basically not playing for over a year to get back in the swing of things. You have Nick Chubb, who is just so amazing. and so reliable. Elijah Moore was a great trade. I can't remember what you guys gave up to get him, but that was a great trade. I mean, Elijah Moore is going to be a good receiver. He showed a lot of good flashes his rookie year, and last year he just didn't get the ball, so that was really his only issue. But yeah, I like the Browns offense honestly a lot. I don't want to put them in A because I do think their weapons are I don't know. I want to say that. I want to say overall, I think they're pretty unproven other than Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore is, again, just going into his third year and didn't do much his second year. And you have Don Peoples-Jones, who, while a good receiver, hasn't got a ton of opportunity and touches to really be considered a huge threat, in my opinion. David Njoku had a great year last year, and it's just gonna line Deshaun Watson. You gave up a lot to get him. You're gonna expect a lot out of him. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but I will say this is going to be the year to tell because he now had an entire offseason, and I do think he's going to be good. But the Browns offense, I do think is going to join the Steelers in the B category. And spoiler alert, the difference between those two teams is the Steelers defense, and that's why in the defensive tier list, I'm going to have the Steelers higher than the Browns. So there's that. Next is the Texans. So the Texans had an incredibly exciting draft because they traded for back-to-back top 3 picks. You draft C.J. Stroud at 2. Will Anderson at 3. Not this video, so we're focused on Stroud. So you have C.J. Stroud as your quarterback. Running back, you still have Dameon Pierce. Receivers are not great. I believe you lose Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys. As far as receivers go, you also have John Mechie, who I'm not sure how much to really expect out of him. I did a video on him earlier, which also has like over 1,000 views. Thank you guys for all the support on that video. I do think when his time comes, he will be a good receiver for them. But again, I mean, he's coming off of like an ACL tear and like leukemia, I believe. So will it be this year he really breaks out? I don't know, but I think he does have the offense around him to where he would be able to get enough opportunity to possibly break out. But I'm not going to put as like a breakout receiver at all next year. But again, definitely the opportunity to. Honestly, just go watch my past video so I can talk more on that. I don't want to spend too much time on John Mechie. So you also get Dalton Schultz, though, from Dallas. It's a great tight end for C.J. Stroud. You get Tank Dell from the draft, who you kind of pair C.J. Stroud, which is, I think pretty good. I believe you also get Robert Woods, I think, from Tennessee, who is a good veteran receiver to not only mentor those young guys, but also provides a very reliable target for C.J. Stroud. And you also have Nico Collins. So is it the craziest wide receiver room in the NFL? No, but is it solid enough to help out a rookie quarterback? I think absolutely. Do they put it all together next year? I don't know. So there's a lot of question marks around them. I am going to put the Texans just in C, but look, I could put them in D. I'm not going to. So, there's that. There's always that, Houston fans, because before last year you could have been the D. But I do think you guys are moving up. And if Stroud is like an incredible rookie quarterback, that's a B tier team right there. So, yeah. Anyway, next Kansas City. I'm not even going to spend too much time on this. Just going to move to S. If you have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, basically impossible to stop. You have Valdez-Scantling still, I think. You lose Juju. I don't think it matters. You get Kadarius Toney, who's probably going to have a very good year if he can stay healthy, but his hamstrings just hate him apparently. But yeah, you get Jim McKinnon back too. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Chiefs. Everybody knows who the Chiefs are. It's an S tier offense. Next is the Cowboys. So the Cowboys, you have Dak Prescott. You have Tony Pollard with Zeke gone. Tony Pollard is a lot more dynamic than Zeke in my opinion. CeeDee Lamb, absolutely incredible receiver. You have Brandon Cooks. You have Noah Brown, and you have Michael Gallup, who really make up a pretty good offense. So Dallas, man, I would so put them in S if it wasn't for Dak Prescott, but I think Dak holds that team back. I'm going to put him in A. I think they're going to be a great offense, but man, I don't think it's going to be enough. Like every year, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be a good offense, but not one of the best in the league. But yeah, so next is the Chargers. The Chargers, you have Justin Herbert. You have Austin Eckler still, I believe, despite like wanting to be traded. I don't think he got traded, and I know he didn't get traded, and I believe he is okay with staying there for another year. So you still have him. You have Keenan Allen. You have Mike Williams. You also draft Quentin Johnson from TCU, who's a pretty good jump ball receiver. I think pretty similar to Mike Williams, actually. So, it's a good offense. The Chargers, I think, were a little disappointing last year. Well, especially in the playoffs, but overall, I think people expected more out of Justin Herbert. I know I did in a few of my fantasy leagues, so that really sucks, but the Chargers are a great offense, and they're going to go in A. I think they are going to have a great offensive year. Next is the Jets, so I don't want to overload A, but they're going in A. You get Aaron Rodgers officially now. You have Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall off an ACL tear is not ideal, but he's still an incredible running back, so he's going there. So he's back on the team or whatever I meant to say. And again, the Jets offense, I think it's going to be really good. You get Alan Lazard as well to help Rodgers out. I believe you get Randall Cobb, but I'm not sure how much he's really going to impact other than like a few, deep threat plays with Rodgers bombing the ball down the field to him. But yeah, Jets offense, I think it's going to be very, very good. Next is Carolina. Now I'm going to try to say I'm biased for this, but I do think Bryce Young is wildly overhated, not overrated, overhated for his size. I think he has a ton of incredible tools, and I think the jokes on him, while some are pretty funny, I will admit, are, not totally fair to him. He's still a great quarterback, and he was drafted one for a reason. If his size was that big of a concern, I think he would have fallen. But he has so many other things to make up for it, like his IQ, like his arm, like his accuracy. I think he's a great quarterback. Carolina brought in Miles Sanders. Honestly, I wanted to keep Deontay Foreman, but I think Sanders is a good running back as well. Adam Thielen, while old, is still a good receiver. You have Terrace Marshall Jr., who I think will have a bit of a breakout year for Carolina. And then you also bring in DJ Chark, who, again, pretty good receiver. You get Hayden Hurst from Cincinnati. I think it's a all-around decent offense. It's kind of the Texans. It's enough. I think it's better than the Texans offense, but it is enough to help ease Bryce Young into the NFL with some reliable targets. But it's not going to take the league by storm, at least this year. So Carolina, I think, is going to go and be. They're going to be a pretty good offense, I think, but nothing insane. But I do think Bryce Young will establish himself as a good quarterback and just need some more time to get some better weapons around him. You also, before I forget, draft Jonathan Mingo, who I think is going to be very, very good for them as well. But again, putting together all in 1 year, I don't think so. So I'm going to keep them in B. Next, the Titans. You have Ryan Tannehill, you have Treylon Burks, and you have Derrick Henry. That might sound like a casual statement, but I don't think they have anyone else that's really going to be mind-blowing. Their tight end, who I cannot say his name for the life of me, he is quite good. But overall, the Titans are starting to slip in that division. You have an incredible coach that somehow makes that team so competitive despite being a little bit weaker on paper. But, Derrick Henry is so far just beating Father Time. So as long as that goes, you will be a great offense. But again, you will not be a phenomenal offense. So there's going to go and be. Next is the Colts. And I just realized we had 3 of the teams in the same division, all in the AFC South all together at the end. That was kind of weird. So for the Colts, you draft Anthony Richardson, who had a ton of question marks around him because of how raw of a prospect he was. But his generational athleticism was just, and arm strength, was just too good to pass up for the Colts. I absolutely respect the pick. I love the pick. So you have him. You have Michael Pittman Jr. You draft Josh Downs from North Carolina. You have Jonathan Taylor still. And you have Jonathan Gannon, I believe, coming over from the Eagles to the Colts, who I think is going to coach up Anthony Richardson very well. So there is that. And I think the Colts offense will be a very exciting one. Now, will it be an A-tier offense? I'm going to say no, just because there are quite a few question marks around Richardson's ability to translate to the NFL. But again, you have the opportunity there. You have the weapons. I think they're going to be a B offense. The Jaguars, I'm actually going to put an A. I absolutely love Trevor Lawrence. I love Doug Pearson. I love what they've done with that team. You have Travis Etienne coming back. You have Calvin Ridley now with his suspension over. You have a lot of great weapons. You have Zay Jones still. You have Evan Ingram still. So I don't know. I love the team. I think and you have Christian Kirk. I knew I was forgetting this one. You have Christian Kirk as well, who had a phenomenal year as well. So I love the Jaguars. I think they're very good. This concludes a tier list. Now I'm going to look over this and just kind of see what teams I might want to move up or down. For me, I do really like the way this looks. I'm not going to lie, but I don't know. Some of the outliers, like, I think we could maybe move. I kind of want to move Washington. I mean, if the Titans didn't have Derrick Henry, I don't know, man. Maybe the Titans do deserve to go down. That's tough. Maybe we move the Titans down along with Washington has too good of weapons, though, I think, to move down compared to Tennessee. They, just have Derrick Henry and Treylon Burks. So I'm going to move the Titans down, I think, to C. Let's move the Patriots. Do we move the Patriots to B? We'll move the Patriots to B because the coaching change, I think, is going to help them out a lot. And we'll move the, I don't know, I'm not sure if we're going to move anybody else, honestly. I kind of like the way this looks. I think we're going to keep it at this. You could definitely do, if you wanted to, you could do this too, in my opinion. I wouldn't bat an eye. Or you could move them back down, move them up if you wanted to, or move them down and move them up if you wanted to. I mean, it's really tight up there with some of the high A tier teams and low S tier teams. But I mean, I'm just going to keep it like this for right now, I think. Yeah, I keep looking over it, but yeah, we're going to leave it at this. But that's going to do for the 2023-2024 post-draft offensive tier list. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We do NFL tier list videos on the channel along with individual team prediction videos coming later this summer. We are currently in the middle of our series over player prediction videos, one for each team at least we'll be doing. We do, like I said, NFL tier list videos, NFL quiz videos. I also do Madden videos. We're doing NFL gameplays. We do Madden gameplays. We do pack openings, Panthers team series, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for all the support. We are almost halfway to 400 subscribers, so make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.